Hello and welcome to my 5:30 a.m. rant. I'm gonna try to keep this one short so I can go to bed and so I don't bother you this much, but there were some things that happened, and I'm just gonna roll the intro and let's talk about it.
Hello, my name is Grump.
Right, so first off, I want to thank you guys for subscribing, and it's almost 3,000 subscribers. This number is just amazing. It is just amazing to me, and I don't know how to thank you guys. I'm still trying to figure out. Maybe at some point I will do a ship giveaway, and I have a friend that is willing to help, and thank you, Faithless, for wanting to help out. I don't want to buy subscribers with doing ship giveaways, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna do it under the radar and just give a ship to somebody, or just announce it that I gave a ship to somebody or whatever. But yeah, we'll see at one point. The main topic of this video, as always, because in Grump's Rehab facility, I always talk about the future of Star Citizen, and one of the things that keeps on bothering me is the medical gameplay, the death of a spaceman and all of that. And for you guys that followed my channel for a longer duration of time, you would know that my standpoint on death of a spaceman is that it is just bad, and it shouldn't be like that, and no game should be like that, and that's the end of it. And there's a lot of reasons why. So first off, they said at some point, once the game gets released, you will lose, once you die 5 times or 10 times, they don't know, you will lose your stuff from your inventory, or maybe your ships and components and all of that. Now, which ships, what, etc., we don't know. And to me, that's just stupid, and I don't want to talk about it anymore. You can go and rewatch some of my videos where I talk about that. But the thing is, they have a bunch of ships that have medical beds. They have medical beds that you can spawn in, and so there's 3 tiers. Tier 1 is gonna be the space station bed, the bed where you can respawn in. Tier 2 is gonna be the Carrack's bed, and the A90 Jumps bed, and the Polaris bed, and probably even Idris and Javelin and all of that. And Tier 3 is gonna be the bed from the Cutlass Red. Now, the Cutlass Red, and I need to show you this, the Cutlass Red, when it was announced, when it was sold, it is sold still currently, but when it was announced, they said this. Let me just find it. Okay, so, should you fall in battle with a Cutlass Red in the area, all is not lost. After your initial visit to the ship's medbay, subsequent vital fallings will cause you to reawaken back there, ready to re-enter the fray. And if you go a bit down, if you scroll a bit down, you will see that single visit to the ship's medbay, blah 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 blah, you will spawn in it. A bit lower, crew members can utilize the bed to reawaken aboard should the worst occur. I told you so. Yeah, I was saying this because I remember this. This happened way before I bought the game, way before I became a Star Citizen. But I remember this because I was researching the game, and I wanted this game to be an actual game so I can play it, right? Which is it's currently not. I haven't played it for a week now because it's just dog shit. I just did some ERTs of a couple of days ago, maybe yesterday, and it was just boring because nothing else works. Basically nothing else works. So anyway, this is basically the Aries Ion before the Aries Ion, and then they realized, well, yeah, we sold enough of those and they're cheap, so yeah, we're not gonna deal with that. Cutlass Red is gonna lose its bed. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make them buy the Carrack and the A90 Jump. But then you have the RSI Apollo, which is supposed to be the only like medical ship where you can spawn in, except the Endeavor, maybe the Idris, maybe the Javelin. We don't know, because everything is subject to change, and this is the main issue with this game. Everything is subject to change. You're gonna give them money, and then they're gonna fuck up your ship. They're gonna just change it and take out its main thing. Like, the main thing of the Cutlass Red was that you can spawn in it. But then they realized, yeah, no, you're gonna spawn in the Carrack, but just for some time, and after a while we're gonna take that out too, because that's a tier 2 bed, and the Carrack's bed is gonna be like not that different from the Cutlass Red's bed, or the Odyssey's bed, or whatever, and then you'll respawn in the Apollo, or the Endeavor, or maybe the Javelin and the Idris. We'll see, I don't know. My guess is that the Polaris is not gonna get a medical facility with a tier 1 bed, and it's $750. It's not even fucking production, as I've said before in my previous videos. Like, this game has just earned 21 million during like the last month because of Invictus. Like, and a bunch of people have bought their Carracks and all of that, and a bunch of people don't even know that you will not be able to spawn in the Carrack. For some reason, CIG has decided that no, you're not going to spawn in the Carrack. And with the Apollo, you're going to use medical supplies every time you want to respawn. So that's cool, but why not give that to the Carrack also, or the Odyssey? Because those ships are made to be like far away and exploring the depths of space, far away from any station, and then you die, and then you can't respawn in it. And what's the fucking point? And like, how the fuck are you gonna get back to your ship if it's like 100 million fucking kilometers away, and you don't even see its marker, you don't even know where it is, and it's filled with loot or minables or whatever, it doesn't matter. You're just gonna lose everything. And having those big ships, like capital ships or sub-capital exploration ships, is like, it's pointless. It is pointless, like, exploration will be pointless because you will not be able to respawn in those medical beds. And that's the point. Now, the second thing is, like, I mentioned the Crusader Ion. They nerfed it. If you didn't start playing like a week ago, you would know that the Crusader Aries Ion was supposed to be not really a sniping ship, but an anti-capital ship, which would like one-tap Gladiuses and all the other like small fighters, but it will be really hard for you to land a shot, but once you land it, they're dead. And then they, like, the Aries Ion fucking got nerfed, and it's completely pointless now. It's useless. Its only use is currently against maybe hammerheads and larger ships, which is okay because that is its like intended role in the game. But it's completely defenseless against like smaller fighters. At least with the Vanguards, you can defend yourself against the maybe like Hornets, Buccaneers, and maybe even kill a Gladius. You can, and it's basically pretty easy if you are an experienced pilot. But if you're not, like if you're mid-tier with your experience, you're just gonna have a tough time. But at least you can defend yourself and maybe even prevail. With the Ion or the Ares Inferno, you know that you will just die, and that's it, and that's the end of the story. And people bought the ship, and then it got nerfed. People also bought the Scorpius because it was supposed to be fucking phenomenal, and then it was not phenomenal, and it was okay. And then they announced that they're gonna nerf it even more. Okay, whatever, but those are like, those ships have guns and they are just gunships or fighters or whatever you want to call them, but Cutlass Red is not that. Cutlass Red had a purpose. You would buy the Cutlass Red only if you wanted a spawn point, and now it lost the spawn point. And okay, it's fine, it's cheap enough to buy in the game, right? But here's the issue. There has been a lot of talks in the past few months, few years, etc. About the future of the game and how CAG sees the future of the game. So there's one concern that I have with like all the things that have been said, and even in the last Q&A from like a week ago, because this week they just didn't release one, there was something that was said and that like pissed me off, and they said that they're gonna slow down quantum travel even more. And like, why? Because there's no content, so we just need to fucking look at the loading screen, because like the quantum travel jump is as interactive as the fucking loading screen is. So that's not fucking gameplay, that's just slowing down gameplay. And they says a few times that they want to slow everything down, so you would need like 20 minutes just to like join up with your org, or maybe just have the same spawn point as your org, but you don't have it because the Cutlass Red is fucked up, and the other, like the only other spawn point that you have is your Carrack or the A90 jump, but most people do not have Carracks or A90 jumps because they're like 27 and 30 something million in the game, and they're really hard to obtain. Now the issue with that is that the majority of players don't have enough time for just doing nothing in a game. They're not going to play a game where you just spend your time on nothing. And here's why. So if you go and look at my audience on my whatever YouTube stats, you will see you will see that my majority of audience is between 18 and 44 years old. There's some 45 to 54, but most of you guys are 25 to 34. And yeah, so as a 34-year-old, I don't have that much time in my life, even though my music and like the studio is over there, you can see it in every video basically. My music is basically gone to shit because like Serbia is just completely fucked up now, and there's nothing to do. But most people have jobs. I don't, but most people have jobs, and they have families, they have whatever. I have dogs, I have a girlfriend, we're living together. She's sleeping right now because she's not retarded like I am. But how the fuck are they gonna, like, how are you guys gonna spend like 20 minutes just trying to link up with your friends in the same system? It's not like they're in Pyro and you're on Stanton. No. They said that like jumping from like our corp to Crusader is gonna take you like 15 to 20 minutes. Why? And then there's a lot of things that have been said in the past where they said that they want to slow down the gameplay and slow down the money earning potential that much, so you can, like, as an org, so you can work for that constellation Andromeda, for example, or Aquila. So maybe in like 2 to 3 months you would earn that ship as a group, as a org, and then you will use that ship for ages basically, so you can earn a Carrack or whatever. Why do we have like 500 ships in the game then, if it's gonna be like that? Why? There's no fucking point. And if it's gonna be that hard to earn the constellation or whatever, and if it's gonna take you like 3 months to get a proper ship for your org, for your smallish org, there will need to be a bunch of stuff to do on those ships, not just like bedlog and use the MFDs. No, you need a bunch of mini games. You need something to keep you occupied on those ships, and you need stuff to happen on those ships, and you need like maintenance. Yeah, I know that we're gonna have engineering, but you need like maintenance and tweaking stuff so you get like better range with your quantum jump, or you go faster with your quantum drive, or whatever. There needs to be a constant thing that like keeps you occupied on those ships. You need to have a bunch of people working together to having like proper multi-crew gameplay. So that ship, it's not because that ship is so janky and you need to fight it to make it good. No, it needs to keep you occupied. So basically, with tweaking the ship, you would up the performance and push it to its like full potential, basically. So we wouldn't just like be sitting there and waiting for the quantum travel to finish so we can actually do something. Is that gonna happen? We don't know. Secondly, why do we have specialized ships then? Why are some ships just for like exploration, like the Terrapin, and you have like other ships that are just like combat ships, and then you have some just like the Herald, you have some data runners and all that. That's fine. It's fine for the current state of the game, even though exploration and data running is not in the game yet, but soon. Trademark by CAG. And like, why would you have that many ships if it's gonna be that hard to earn one? And this all ties in with the money-making potential for CAG, because they just say everything is subject to change. Everything is subject to change, and then they change it. They up the price of the Caterpillar, for example. They changed the bed from the Cutlass Red, and they announced it as a respawn point. But no, we're gonna keep that for the Apollo, and no, the Carrack is gonna it's not gonna work. Maybe even the Apollo, we never know. Maybe the Apollo is not gonna be a spawn point. Maybe. We really don't know. Everything is subject to change, except the Gladius. Gladius needs to be the best fighter in the game, right? Because of like Squadron 42, and that's it. But this is how CAG from now on will continue to like make more and more money, because all the people that had the Cutlass Red, they probably upgraded from the Cutlass Red to the Apollo once they saw that the Cutlass Red doesn't have a spawn point in it anymore. And once the Apollo is out, and then we realize that it doesn't have a spawn point, or maybe it's not cheap enough to spawn in it, but the Endeavor is cheaper, they're gonna buy the Endeavor, etc, 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 and it's just a money-making machine. Like 21 to almost 22 million in basically a week or the whole month, but like the Invictus week was just like phenomenal for the sales. And then like a bunch of us, me included, have bought a bunch of JPEGs. Some of us because we wanted to support the production of the game, me included to a degree, but also I had not really discounts, but I had like referral ships that I upgraded, so it didn't cost me that much. Of course, I wouldn't spend that much, but I bought it for the channel so I can review those ships once they get out. I can review them for you guys and maybe make some money from like YouTube views and all of that. But most people are not YouTubers. Some people have money, let it be disposable income, but maybe they're just bad with money. You never know. But this is just basically gambling, right? Because everything is subject to change. You're gambling, you're giving them money and gambling on that ship being good. Bunch of people that had Scorpiuses have upgraded to something else, because the Scorpius, it's okay. It looks okay, it looks nice. It's a trip when you're flying up on X-Wing, but it's not that good. Bunch of people that got the Ion, they like left it and just upgraded to something else. Why would you want to have an Ion? Or an Inferno? There's no point. Why would you have a Cutlass Red? Like, there we go. I'm like staring at the screen the whole time. Why would you have the Cutlass Red? There's no fucking point. Now, why am I saying all of this? Let's say, for example, you have the Banu Merchantman, and you know that it has like 3,000 SUs of cargo capacity, whatever. And then they figure out that, yeah, maybe that's too OP, we're gonna cut it down to like 900 SUs. Or maybe it's not gonna be a Merchantman, maybe it's gonna be something else. But no, let's say it's just gonna stay as a Merchantman. And as it is right now, let's say they don't change anything about it that's in the brochure. But what could happen is that the loading up the Merchantman with a whole organization of people could be so fucking slow and exhausting and boring that you're just gonna hate that ship, and like then they're gonna come out with another ship which is just like gonna teleport all the cargo inside of it, because why not? Because that's gonna solve your problems. And instead of having a $550 merchantman, which is like the price is gonna rise up, maybe even during Alien Week, instead of that, you're gonna get another ship like the Hull E, for example. And we already see that the SRV, which is in production currently, is gonna be able to lift up those huge 32 SU boxes that like Raft carries, which are the same boxes that the Hull E is gonna carry. They're making it easy for you to load it up with the SRV, but without it, that ship is going to be pointless. So you will need to have two ships instead of just having one. And in this case, if you have an Odyssey, like I do, you will not be able to spawn in the Odyssey unless they realize that like it's just all bullshit and that you should be able to spawn in the Carrack in the Odyssey. But you would probably need another ship so you can spawn close to the Odyssey, not in the Odyssey, because the Apollo is not gonna fit the Odyssey or the Polaris. Therefore, maybe you're not gonna be even able to spawn in the Polaris or the Odyssey. Maybe you will just need to have escorts, and your whole team, your whole crew should have a bunch of ships, and one of those ships is gonna be the Apollo. And then you're gonna use your Polaris or the Odyssey or whatever. And yeah, like, I don't know, I already talked about this. I'm trying not to talk about medical gameplay that much, and like Death of a Spaceman gameplay, because I think it's bullshit and I already talked about it, and I don't want to bore you with that. But for example, you attack an enemy base and they have an advantage because their bases are going to have tier 1 beds where they can spawn in, but you have a Polaris, you have maybe even a Javelin or an Idris or whatever, it doesn't fucking matter, and then you attack them, and you need to have one guy, at least one guy, or maybe two guys, like a doctor and a pilot for the Apollo. Why not just do it with a Cutty Red? I don't understand it. Why would you even need a Cutty? You will need a Cutty Red because you will not really die that much, but once you get downed, somebody is gonna hop in a Cutty and like pick you up as an ambulance, and you're gonna fly back to the station or to the Endeavor or to the Apollo or whatever. Dudes, do you know how much time that's gonna take? Do you know how much time that's gonna take? We are mostly, like most of the Star Citizen community is between 25 and 45. Do you know how much time it takes? Why would you do that to us? Most people are just gonna play like single player game loops in this game because they don't want to die, and if they keep on dying doing that and having to wait for an hour or maybe 20 minutes, it doesn't fucking matter, 5 minutes, 20 minutes for somebody to pick you up and drag you back to fucking base so you can get revived, there's no point. There is no point in playing this game. And the worst part is, this is not the current state of the game. We don't have this yet, but we will have this at one point. And at that point, we as a community are gonna grow older. I'm not gonna be 34, I'm gonna be 45 or 40, it doesn't matter. But the matter of fact is that I will not have enough time for all of this bullshit. So why did I buy the Polaris? Why did you buy the Polaris? Why did we buy the Krakens? Why did we buy the Javelins and all that? Why did we get the Cutty Red and then upgrade to the Apollo? What's the point? Like, I'm gonna finish with this. I think that this is the best time to start playing Star Citizen, because we're right there. We're really close to server meshing and all of that was promised. Maybe we'll see. Hopefully, I'm not gonna knock on the table, but this is the best time, even though this patch is completely fucked, so just wait for a month or two. But this is the best time because you will have some practice. You would know how the game is working, so once we get 4.0, then you can like know how everything works, so you can like have a jump start basically. So that's why I think that this is the best time for like starting playing Star Citizen. But when is the time where we actually know what Star Citizen is? Do any of us know what Star Citizen is gonna look like? There's just estimates. There's just random thoughts and hopes and all of that. We have no idea. We still, 11 years in development, we still have no idea how exploration is gonna look like. We don't know. Some people have said that there's gonna be like a comet and like random events, but your Carracks and Odysseys and all of that with like terrapins with like exploration equipment, they're gonna notice those, then they're gonna make a jump point, then they're gonna chart it and either sell it or jump to the whatever, like comet or whatever, and then you're probably gonna mine on the comets or whatever. But that's just an estimate. It could be just like a beam and it points in a certain direction, and then you have a thing, you click 3 keys and you have charted a new jump point, which nobody can use because that's still not in the game, or because that's just it. That's basically it. We have no idea how data running is going to work. I assume that there's going to be some hacking. And then you're gonna basically, as a cargo runner, you're gonna jump from point to a point and just sell that info or data or whatever. Maybe, we don't know. Do we know how mining is? Do we know the people that have bought the Orion? Do we know if the Orion is gonna refine and mine Quantanium? Do we know if it's gonna mine bigger rocks than the mole? Or is this it? Like 9k rocks is the biggest rock? We don't know, probably, but maybe not. Because everything is subject to change and everything is supposed to be balanced at some point, but they're not doing the main things that are necessary, like slowing down ship combat so they could see how ships perform, so they can balance ships and guns. And then Cutlass Red, and then Apollo, and then all of that. How the fuck are they gonna balance all of that if we still don't have the bare bones of this game? Because everything is subject to change, but the only constant and the only thing that doesn't change is that the JPEGs are much better ships than what we have right now. The Corsair, fuck it, 4 size 5 guns, pilot controlled, plus 2 size 4 guns, pilot controlled, plus 2 turrets. Fuck it. Just fuck it. Why not? But is that gonna work out? How is that gonna work? Maybe they're just gonna take off 2 of those size 5 guns. Maybe they're gonna leave all of that, but it's gonna fly worse than the Starfarer. For the Starfarer, they said that the Starfarer is gonna perform better, but it's performing like shit. Compared to the Gemini, like the vanilla, the base model is gonna perform much better, and it's gonna like turn and all of, like that didn't happen. So the Expanse, is it gonna refine everything? Probably, we don't know, but we'll see. But maybe once they release it, they realize that it's too OP and that it shouldn't be like that, and it just doesn't refine Quantanium anymore. Probably not, because it's a smaller ship and it's not gonna be able to refine that much. But you never know. You never know with CAG, because everything is subject to change. But you know what is not subject to change? My patrons. You guys are fucking amazing. If you want to support the channel, there's gonna be a link down in the description of the video, and you can support the channel right there. And thank you to my patrons, and thank you guys for watching. And don't forget to bring a towel when you're traveling through space, and goodbye. Mwah.